Here is how I made Glitch Hop in FL Studio with uh, absolutely zero experience whatsoever. Well, I have experience in FL Studio, but not with really making Glitch Hop. I only tried it once. Here you have your kicks, which have absolutely no effects on them. Your snare has a soft clipper, filter on it for the cutoff, a low pass filter, and an EQ. You have our crashes, which also have absolutely nothing on them. You have our hi-hat loops, which have a bit of an EQ on it to boost some of the highs. Have some downlifters, some white noise uplifters, and some risers. Your chords, which I've separated into 2 layers, actually technically 3 if you include the sub. So that includes this layer, which is a bit of a brighter saw layer, and it includes our sub. All of these have an EQ and a little bit of reverb. Our sub has a very simple EQ that just boosts some of the lows. Then you have our lead, or our leads, since there's 2 layers. I just have a Magical 8-bit plugin here with a little bit of reverb, which is disabled for right now, and a EQ. Have a little bit of a lead that has some modulated vibrato and other stuff. It's a bit more bright than the square lead. And all together for your, oh yeah, also some impacts. Can't forget those. Have a little bit of sidechain to modulate for the extra kick here, since for the other drums I'm using Tal Filter 2 for the sidechain. Here on the master channel for the intro and like the melodic elements, we have a soft clipper and we have a filter to modulate the cutoff. All together, this is how our beginning section sounds. This modulates the cutoff. Then we have what I like to call our chorus, or what I would consider our chorus. And it's pretty much the same as before, only we've added 2 new elements, being these little blips, which are just a square lead with some of the highs boosted and a little bit of the mids, and an arpeggio with highs and mids boosted and the lows cut. And all together it sounds like this. Now we have our build-up. So for our build-up, I stopped using the kicks and I took the snares and I modulated the cutoff on these snares to slowly increase as we go on. I modulated the reverb of the square lead right here and made it so that the cutoff would lower, so that way it gives us a little bit of a reverb hanging effect. That last lead, or that last note right here at the beginning of the measure, kind of hangs over into the reverb as the cutoff is lowered on the low pass filter, which kind of allows it to it allows it to fade in at the same time. During this section, I've also added a little bit of it's an FM wobble. This is just a serum patch that's supposed to be an FM wobble for probably Brostep or something. Only I have it at a very low note, and the way that this patch is created, or this preset is made, when you have it at a low note, it sounds like this. It sounds like that. Then, of course, we have our snares, which get louder as we go. We have a different chord pattern too, which I will show right now. Let's chop up a little bit more. And then we have our main element, which will carry into the drop, which starts off right here. Those are our drop basses, which altogether the build-up sounds like this. For the drop here, I just chopped up our chords and our leads and kind of made them so that they would fit. Here, I'll even turn on the high players a little bit here so that we can hear them. And then we have our basses. Which with our high players combined, so our basses here are a couple of different serum patches. We have our sub, which I will solo right now so that way you can hear it. Has a little bit of octave jumping. And then for our next bass we have this, which is very simple. This is just a serum growl from a Temanite sample pack that I have. It's a bit of a classic Skrillex type of growl. For our next bass we have a bit of a row-step type of growl, which is from another sample pack that I have, I believe from Somatics. Yes, from Somatics. Next we have what I consider to be our main bass here, because it's probably the most audible one, which is another one of these basses from WA Productions. Then we have this, which is the same FM wobble patch from earlier that used to make the yow sound, the like high-pitched yow sound for the high player, only it's at its correct note, so it sounds like this. Altogether, this allows for our bass pattern to sound like this. When we repeat this and we add a couple of different things, such as more impact, overall, our drop sounds like this. And then for this section, we have a little bit of a break, which is almost the exact same as our chorus. Actually, I'd consider it pretty much the exact same as the chorus, which just sounds like this. Roy Knox's Impact sample number 3, which love this guy. Please go check out Roy Knox on whatever. I'm not sponsored by him in any way. I just want you guys to go check him out because I absolutely love his music. Anyways, we start off with a little bit of a washout here. So here's our FX samples. ignore that these are all in the wrong categories. I really don't care enough to fix it at the moment. And we start off with, very simply, with our chords and our ARP sample, or ARP patch, whatever. And we gradually modulate the cutoff in the low pass filter until we get to a little bit of a top section here, where we bring our lead and our blips in. Now this is where things start to get interesting, in my opinion. We have our second build-up and everything. Same bases. It's very similar to the previous one, only now we have one more element, and that is this very important automation source. This will allow us to slow the song down. So if we play the build-up, we slowly modulate the main bass, drop bass as well. We have a fake out. Now, for the drop, we have a little bit of a changed up bass sample. By changed up, I mean I've literally done like 4 modifications and that's it. Most important one being really the only one I'm going to show you is our main drop bass now has a different note pattern. And overall, our new drop bass will sound like this. And overall, since not much else has changed, our second drop sounds like this. And once again, we have our break section afterwards. And then right here, we start to speed back up again to 110 BPM. And that concludes this project breakdown for this little glitch hop project of mine. I hope you enjoy, and it'll be out soon.